Hi everybody, all my followers, welcome to another video. Right, the video today is on a Kia Carens CRDI. Doesn't really matter the engine. The car came to me because of that. I'm not going to be able to see it. I think you are able to. Hang on. Try to. Yes. So there we go. So is that airbag light? So that's it. Yeah, it came to me with that airbag light. I haven't scanned the car yet, so I don't have a clue what's in there. But that's what we're gonna do first. We're gonna scan the car and see what faults do we have. Okay, so as you might have seen right at the end of the last clip, he didn't decode, he didn't manage to get the VIN from the car, but he decoded the car as soon as I put the VIN manually. He figured out which car it was straight away. So we are now in the airbag ECU. It's going to read the codes. Okay, so that's the code. Driver, airbag, resistance too high, first stage, B1346. So, what this is probably gonna be is this is a two-stage airbags. So it's basically two airbags in one. You have first stage and second stage, and obviously it's telling us that the first stage is the resistance is too high. Let's gonna see if we have live data here that will help us. It's always nice when you do have proper live data. It's terrible, not very good. It's real time info, doesn't really matter. That's the passenger airbag. So I think yeah, we're gonna have to look, have a look, try to see what's causing this. Possibly the chances are it's gonna be the clock spring, something like that, the squeeb right at the back behind the wheel. Let's gonna take things into bits and try to start to make some measurements. Okay guys, so first to remove the airbag, it's a bit of clear, but you have two screws right here on the side, one here, then one on the other side. Just undo these screws. You might need to turn the steering that way and then that way for the screw to slide out slightly. Then this comes out, as you can see. Now this is actually a one-stage airbag. As you can see, there's only one plug, so it's going to be one stage only. The reason why it says first stage, it might lead you into the wrong sort of thinking, is because it's just a general message. It says first stage. If it's two stages, he then would say first or second stage, but first stage is just a general message from my understanding. And yeah, so we're gonna start to measure these wires all the way back. I'm gonna try to find where the ECU is, to measure from here back to the ECU, and then start to break it down to see exactly where the brake is. Okay, so the center console is out. The airbag module is right there at the back. As always, most of the cars in a really awkward place. But so we have two cables, or two looms going into the module. Let me see if I can. So we have that cable there, that goes to the rear of the car, that goes to the seats, to the rear airbags. There's airbags everywhere at the back, and you have the second plug that comes this way up. So this is going to be the plug that's going to come to the front airbags, driver and passenger airbag. Doors, there's no doors airbags, there's no knees airbag, so this is probably the one that comes up here. And that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna unplug this and we're gonna measure the wires. Okay, so the plug is out. The two wires are gonna be these two wires here. This blue and brown, as you can see, is a blue. I don't know if the camera's going to show. It's a blue with a black stripe, and the brown is the brown with a black stripe. So it's these two up here, and we're going to see that upstairs up there. Upstairs up there, they actually kept the same color. So blue with a black stripe. Where's the black stripe on the brown? Hang on, I've seen it here somewhere. So there is right at the back. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. The brown, in this case, is a white stripe, but it doesn't matter. It's the same wire. That's all we need to know. So we're going to measure this and see what resistance we do have. I'm going to put the thing in here so you can see it. Yes, you can see it. So let's gonna measure the brown wire first. So the brown wire, we have 0.5 ohms, 0.6. I don't know if you can read it. I hope you can. Yeah, you can. So 0.6 ohms, which is more than good. And the next one, which is the blue wire. The blue wire, we have a problem. 4.1 ohms. So that's way too high. That's way too high. So 4.3. Sorry about that, a little bit of that video. I was just trying to do what I've done, just to show you something else. So the total, so what I've done is I've jumped these the plug right at the top, and we are measuring the total circuit resistance, which is 4.2 ohms, which should be obviously much less than that. So when let's say if the airbag itself should have, let's say 2.5 ohms, and that's what the ECU would be expecting to read when there's the self test when you turn the ignition on. So when you had 4.2 ohms plus the 2 ohms resistance from the actual airbag, that just put it out of the scale, and obviously the ECU detects the fault. So we know now that is our blue wire that's at fault, and we're gonna have to trace it down. My first guess is gonna be the clock spring, as I said, and that's where we're gonna focus for now. Usually is where the problems occur, so we're gonna have a look. Okay, so this is the setup, so you can read the screen and kind of see what I'm doing. So here is the plug right before the clock spring. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to show you, but it's a black, brown and a blue wire. So there's only 2 wires for the airbag, which is those 2 wires at the plug down there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to measure these 2 wires from here to over there. If reveals no problem from here to there, we know our problem is going to be from here to here inside the clock spring. So it's going to measure the brown wire. So brown wire, 0.5 ohms, 0.6, 0.9 support contact here. When I put them in, it should be a right line. No. I was putting it on the wrong place. Right Right, so 0.4 ohms, so that's absolutely fine. Now that's gonna look our blue wire, which was the wire with the problem. Blue wire, we do have 0.4 ohms, which is absolutely fine. So our problem is gonna be in here. Now, what I'm gonna do, because I can't measure these right at the back, I can't measure these here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out and just confirm, but our problem is going to be here. We're going to have a look in there. Okay, because I can't really take the jumper from there. I've spoke about those jumpers in the past. So there's a jumper jumping the 2 pins inside this plug. What we're going to do is going to put the plug, and I'm just going to measure piggybacky there, and we're going to measure from there to here. So the brown wire I measured already, it's fine. The blue wire, I just want to show you something. So I'm going to put in there this plug. It's piggyback in there. Look at that, 18.1 ohms or 18.2 ohms, and it's even worse now. And as you turn the clock spring around, it just goes all over the place. So obviously you have a break in there, but we're gonna try to repair it, obviously. Okay, so at first glance, it looks like, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see on the camera here, but we'll go to the workshop and I will show you this more in detail. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. You can actually see it. It looks like the ribbon has been kinked in there on this bottom lane, and the bottom lane, guess what, is, how can I say that, is the blue line, is the blue wire. So I think the problem is here somewhere. So what I'm gonna try to do is take this plug off, because it just slides out, as you can see. Cut the ribbon and just make it a little bit short. You should have room for that. And although it's quite a lot, I'm gonna have to take off, but I think repair it in this place is a little bit, I think I'm gonna cut it and just solder it all the way back in there, and hopefully that will solve the problem. But obviously I can't do that here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is where this sort of kink was on the ribbon, I don't know how good you can see it in there, in this area here. What I'm gonna do is I've scraped the plastic on this side and on this side. I'm not gonna cut it in case I make this too short. I don't think it would be too short if I just remove this little bit off. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna solder a bridge. This area here doesn't go around the clock spring. It's a fixed point, so we're gonna solder this bridge like this. Okay, and I'm gonna do it on both lanes of the airbag for the simple fact that the kink is on both. So if this is the issue, which I believe it is, the chances are sooner or later would be on the other one. So this way we will fix a future problem, hopefully. Okay guys, so I've closed the clock spring, and when I was to show you on the bench to measure it, I've just realized obviously the jumper in there is just short circuit again, so I can't measure it in there unless I would take the jumper off. So I just came back to the car, and we're gonna measure it here. So as soon as I plug this in, obviously it takes the shorts away. Okay, so we can measure it now. So I'm gonna measure it. Actually, let's gonna measure it straight down to the airbag plug. What I'm gonna have to do what I did before. Just put the camera here, somewhere here, with the multimeter here. Okay, so let's gonna measure. It's gonna do again measuring the brown wire first, which is the good one. Just for thingy. Okay. So 0.3 ohms, 0.2, that's fine. That's gonna measure now the one that was at fault, which was the blue wire. And look at that, 0.3 ohms. So put everything back together, put all the plugs back together, including the one down there for the airbag, obviously. Put everything back together, clear the codes, and hopefully the problem has been fixed. Okay, so I put everything back together. Well, these bits here, so we still have the light on, as you can see. I've just rescanned the car, and as you can see, the code is history now. So as soon as we delete the code, that light should go off. I'm gonna cycle the ignition, start the engine, make sure, and that's it. Airbag light is off. And just to make sure, we'll rescan the ECU again. Oh, sorry, I have my finger in front of the camera. And we have no faults. So that's pretty much it, guys. I really hope you have gathered some good information from this video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, questions, put them below. And like always, guys, thank you so much for watching.